So I asked you guys what some of your most craziest Ninjago hot takes were, and you did not disappoint. Sadly, I can't get through them all in this video, but I have selected 5 of what I think are the most controversial. But before we get into this, I wanted to shout out someone who really doesn't need a shout out, especially from me, Tanner Fishies, since I did get this video idea from him. Anyway, let's get straight into it. The first one says that Crystallized is one of their favorite seasons, and this one, I'm gonna have to agree with. It is definitely not better than 8 and 9, and the first season of Dragons Rising is probably better, but after that, my 4th favorite season is Crystallized. And anyway, as you can imagine, a lot of people had something to say on this topic. One guy said that he wants to agree with him, but he just can't because of the bad writing. And I can 100% get that, because there were definitely a lot of times where you could tell they weren't written the best. But I'm saying that a lot of the Ninjago seasons have flaws. In fact, most do. And I think that the only reason that Crystallized is as hated as it is because it was the finale to an 11-year saga, so everyone just wanted it to be perfect. Alright, so next up we have that the dragon from the island is the best Ninjago dragon, not only set wise but in the show as well. So starting off with the set, I can definitely say why you would like it. The color scheme looks really nice and unique, and the overall build is not too bad at all. But in my personal opinion, it barely cracks the top 10. But show-wise, I can definitely see why it is your favorite, and I might even have to agree with him. Zippy is probably the only dragon other than Ryu who has any sort of personality. All of the dragons, such as the Ultra Dragon and Lee's Golden Dragon, are obviously a lot cooler, but that doesn't necessarily mean better. Another flaming hot take we have is that Ninjago Rebooted is one of the best Ninjago seasons. So I have made a video where I defended Ninjago Rebooted because I feel like it doesn't get the credit that it deserves, and I feel that everyone overhates it, but saying that it is one of the best seasons is a bit of a stretch in my opinion, as it probably sits in the middle of my rankings at least, maybe just a tad higher, but that is pushing it. Now, I can definitely understand what there is to like. The season focuses a lot on Zane, so if he is your favorite ninja, it makes sense for Rebooted to be your favorite. The Overlord coming back is controversial, however, some people like it and a lot more people don't. And I think the reason that Rebooted is as hated as it is because of the love triangle. I honestly believe that if that wasn't included in this season, it would be a lot more liked. But a hot take I can kind of agree on is that Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 1 is mid. Now, I know that everyone has been raving about this season so far, and that it is the best Ninjago season in a long time, but I have to disagree with that. I'm not saying that it was bad at all, but half the season is just a ninja training with Eagle and Cole, Bonzo and Zane on their side quest that is ultimately meaningless and barely, if at all, contributed to the overall plot. And I'm not saying that it is all bad. Kai being the focus is great, and I love to see it, and Raz and his army is really cool, even though we didn't really get to see him all that much. Shadow Spin and Rising Dragon are 2 very cool moves, which I hope to see more of, and the finale was also pretty great in my opinion. And I just wanted to say that this video was recorded before Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2 has come out, and it may or may not be out by the time this video comes out. But for now, Dragons Rising Season 2 is definitely pretty mid, maybe just above average for me. But now for a take that I 100% definitely can't agree with is that Hunted is the only true good season in the Oni trilogy. And firstly, I just wanted to start this off with saying that Hunted is actually my favorite Ninjago season of all time, but saying that it is the only truly good one in arguably the best era in Ninjago's history is out of pocket. In fact, I would say that if anything, Season 8 is the only true good Oni trilogy season, because I can't really find any flaws in it, at least not anything too major. It would be my favorite, but I just enjoyed Season 9 more, and I did really like the first realm stuff in that season as well. But with March of the Oni, it is definitely not an objectively good season, no matter how much I personally enjoy it. It was rushed, and it is an absolute crime that it only got 4 episodes. It also pretty much just focused on Lloyd and Garmadon, All of the other ninja were sidelined except for Cole because of his fake out death. And speaking of fake out deaths, there wasn't only one, but two. And finally, I found the Oni to be pretty disappointing villains. But going back on topic, no, I do not believe that Hunted is the only actually good season in the Oni trilogy, but I have only given my opinion on it, so I think that it's only fair to give White Pieful a chance to speak. So, it says that Season 8 had bad continuation for what came before it, which I kind of get. It then said Garmadon's character was ruined, which I also kind of understand, but disagree with. He then said the ninja lose to the weakest villain in the series. Well, I mean, I technically lost to Garmadon, so not really. Then he said the redesigns were a reason. I mean, you are allowed to not like them, but that is just not a reason to completely not like a season. And he finally mentioned that he didn't like the uninteresting side plots, which I don't really get, because I can't even really think of the side plots that were in that season. I don't think there really were any. But anyway, he then with Season 10, he pretty much just says the same as I said before. So even though I do slightly understand why he thinks that Season 9 is the only true season, I still respectfully disagree. And if you wanted a bit more of an in-depth look on my thoughts on the Oni trilogy as a whole, you can check it out here. See you later. Be Ninja.